What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm back here at AutoNation Ford of Brooksville with this 2024 Mustang convertible. And normally I would say this is a perfect Florida car, but today the weather says otherwise. But we're gonna check this out. I'm gonna take you on a complete tour of this 7th generation Mustang. I'm gonna start right up front here, walk around and talk about the different features of this vehicle, and then jump inside. I'll show you the technology. By the way, this is a base trim. I just reviewed the GT Coupe. So if you want to look at that and see what you get at the highest trim level, you can as well. But this is what you'll get with this base trim. This is a convertible, and it really doesn't have many features that are added on. And I'm going to list everything that's in addition to the base MSRP in the description of this video. But before I show you this beautiful vehicle, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and turn on that bell notification ring bell. And now let's get back to this. So it has this typical Mustang look, and I love that they didn't completely change the vehicle. They left that old Mustang feel on it, like we've seen from the 60s up till now. And let's take a look at the front end. And I apologize, the vehicle is wet. It's been raining on and off here. So let's take a look. I like the lights. I like how they redesigned it, kind of kept that retro styling, but they put all of this new technology inside. So you have this triple LED beam lights right on top. You also have the turn signals and the LED lights that are right here, and in the side you can see the Mustang logo. Now scrolling down here, I'm not sure what was the reasoning behind it, but this is just a trim piece, and we've seen this on the GT. This is all closed off for some reason, not sure, but you have the active louvers right behind this grill right here, so they open and close depending on how much air you need inside of this engine compartment. You have this kind of polished aluminum pony right here. Looks pretty good. Now on the higher trims you'll get this piano black. This is matte black. Doesn't look bad, but you know, definitely looks more base than the other one. And you have the same long hood, so the sheet metal is the same no matter whether you choose this one or the higher end trim. But of course it's powered up by the completely different powertrain. So let's take a look and see what it is. And underneath the hood of this one, we'll find a 2.3-liter turbocharged EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine delivering 315 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and for the 4-cylinder engine, this is the only transmission option that is available. If you want a stick shift, you need to go up to the V8. And let's take a look. It has the hood struts right here in the back, very nice. It also has the sound insulation. It does not have the air exhaust like we've seen on the higher trim level V8, but overall it doesn't look bad. Now I kind of wish it had the engine cover up all of these wires that are sticking out, but that's just aesthetics. And here it is in the convertible version right on the side. It still have this very masculine look. I like it. Let's take a look at the wheel and tire setup. What we have here are 18-inch wheels, and actually I like this wheel design better than I did on the GT. It has black and polished aluminum. They're 18-inch rims, and the size of the tires 235 by 50. And then you have this extending side skirt right at the bottom, and the same trim as we've seen in the front and on the inside of this vehicle. Now as far as the mirrors, I don't see any turn signals, cameras, or anything like this. You do have a blind spot assist, and then of course You know, this is a convertible, so frameless design. And walking around that, let's take a look at the back. Now there's some people that like it, some people that don't like it. I actually hated it when I first saw this design on the Mustang. Didn't like it one bit. Now it grew on me, and now that I see it in person, it actually looks very good. So here on the convertible, of course, you don't have the top, so the third brake light is incorporated into the trunk lid, and then you have the rear view camera, Mustang logo, and then you still have the dual exhaust, which is really nice, kind of the same bumper as we've seen on the GT version, and the reverse light is right underneath here. I don't know why they still went with this type of antenna. Now this is your regular antenna. I believe this one might be the satellite antenna. And the big question, of course, is can we fit anything in this trunk? So press the trunk unlock button once, open it up, and we have almost the same room, but it's not as easy to put stuff in and out because it is not a fastback, or it's not a coupe. So let's see, pretty deep, you know, right underneath here. In this case, you have a spare tire, which is a nice feature. The seats, it looks like it could be folded down, but it's a one piece instead of a you know, 50-50 split. And then right on top of here, in case you get locked up in here, you can actually unlock yourself from the inside of the trunk. Yeah, of course, before we get inside, let's take a look and listen to the sound of the closing door. And, you know, considering it's a frameless design, it's actually not bad, but, you know, keep in mind it doesn't have a frame to hold all of this together. And on the door panel right here, we don't have the leather wrapping on this base trim, but we do have this cloth insert. You have the same trim as on the outside, and the rest of the inside of the vehicle actually looks pretty good and solid. And then you have the regular window mirror lock controls. Tiny bit of storage in the door. This is also nicely padded with this leatherette. And then right at the bottom here, you have the Mustang on the door sill, and you also have the adjustment for the seats. Now this is a power seat. Definitely not as fancy as we've seen on the GT, but the material looks very durable and solid, and you still have some of the contrast stitching on the side and some of the leather on the outside of the seat. Now on the left hand side, you have the controls basically for your lights and your trunk. And then let me jump inside and I'll show you the rest of this interior. So here we are in the interior of this 2024 base Mustang. So let's check it out and let's see what's different than the GT. Let's take a look. First of all, on the side here, you still have the same trim. You have the Mustang, you have the Mustang logo right here, some big vents. This is still a soft plastic material, which is really nice. We don't have the leather wrapping over here. You have to go with the premium one, I believe, to get that. And of course, we don't have the Bang & Olufsen stereo, but the speakers are placed in the same way. And then you can see you still have two big screens. You still have the 12.3 inch screens and the 13.2 inch screen right here, but they're not connected. So they don't have this curved screen that we've seen on the higher end model. And then as far as the steering wheel, you have the leather wrapped steering wheel. Still have this trim right here with the polished aluminum Mustang logo, and pretty much the same as far as the buttons. So you have the cruise control button, and then you have the mode buttons. I don't see the adaptive cruise control on this one, so I would assume that it doesn't have it. And then on the other side, you basically have the volume control, and then you can control what's going on in the instrument cluster. Now, on the side here, there is a start stop button. So let's hit that up and let's see what's happening. You still have the nice animation that's going on. I want to make sure that the radio is off. And let's take a look at the instrument cluster right behind here. So is it linked to the drive mode? We have, first of all, let's check it out what we have as far as the drive mode. So we have the normal, sport, track, drag strip, slippery, custom mode, and back to normal. So I think they are the same. Am I missing something? I might be missing something. But as far as the gauge clusters, let's go to the drag strip and see if that changes. That's going to give us an indication whether it is connected to, yep, it is connected to the drive mode. So as you can see, that changes. Right now on top you have this big tachometer, you have the speedometer right in the middle, and then on all the screens you can see who's not wearing seatbelts. and then at the bottom you have the temperature, direction, mileage, etc. So let's go to the sports mode. I think that was my favorite one. I love the animation, by the way. They're all the same. They were the same in the higher end trim as this one. And then we have the speedometer on the right, tachometer on the left. You have the display in the middle, which you can customize. Actually, you can change what's displayed there. So let's see what's on the inside here. So you can see the gauge detail. We had that, tire pressure, fuel economy, trip one, and back to gauge detail. Again, it doesn't have all the features like on the GT. You can see a little bit more, but it still has plenty for you to customize it. Different sources as far as the radio, and that's just because it popped up on this main screen over here. So let's take a look. The radio sounds actually good. Now, I mean, it doesn't sound as good as the B&O system that we had on the higher trim, but you have the AM, FM, Sirius XM, and Bluetooth audio. And then, you know, as far as this main screen, it pretty much looks the same. So let's hit the home button, and I don't see the navigation system, so say that it doesn't have it. The higher end trim had it. So this one has the radio, it has the phone. I'm actually gonna add the phone, and probably what's gonna happen, it's actually gonna disconnect my, and as I thought, this disconnected my phone just because at one point I had this downloaded, the Mustang downloaded on it, so it thought that I want to connect with the phone that I'm recording with. Anyway, so you do have the wireless Android Auto, which is a great feature, even though we don't have the built-in navigation. You have the Android Auto navigation, and as you can see, you can select it to have the bigger screen. Looks really, really good. Okay, and then you go back to different options as far as the screen display, and nice, bright, visible. Hit the Ford Sync to get out and to go to the main screen. And as you can see, you have the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, etc. And go back. So now we have the phone connected, so that's what it's going to say. Go to settings. You have the phone list, sound. You can adjust your tone setting, sound setting, etc. And go back. Go to the vehicle settings, see what we can adjust here. So same thing, 30-minute max idle, rear occupant alert, key detection system, onboard modem, serial number, windows, wipers, lighting, locks, etc. Everything that we hit on the other one. Instrument cluster, we can choose screens in the middle, what's displayed in the instrument clusters. So I can actually get more. Yeah, so Mustang status, that's what it was. I just didn't turn that on in the middle screen, the instrument cluster. Now it's on. Center display, connectivity, vehicle hotspot, mobile apps, software updates, Ford Assistance, 911 assist, valet mode. And you know, here's a pretty cool button. It's right down here. It says My Mustang, and it turns on this very cool screen. So it doesn't have as many features as it did on the GT, but you still have the track apps. So you have the acceleration timer, brake performance, and lap timer. And on the auxiliary gauges, you can still have, you know, the display on it as far as the brake acceleration and the G meter right here. You also have the voltage. I believe you can customize these. Let's hit this button. Yeah, there's more of them. And as far as the custom display, see, each one has options to go with something else. So you can select it, and there's tons of information that you can see on here. So for those of you who buy the performance car to actually drive it as it should be, I mean, that's what it would be. Custom mode, you can customize the custom mode, and let's see what settings we have, similar to what it was on the GT. And then back here, my color. So we don't have this as far as the ambient lighting. I don't see that option here, but my color, secondary color, primary color. I think what happens is, let's see if I'm right. Primary color, yep. So that happens all over. Like the primary color on the display is going to be this. If you select it, for example, in blue, let's see, all of this is going to change to blue, as well as right here in the instrument cluster, those colors will change as well. So I mean, there is a little bit of customization in here. It's not bad. And we'll go back to my Mustang mode, cluster theme. Right now we have the match to drive mode. As you can see, there's several different themes that are available. Now like this, look at this. This is a Fox body, which is basically the Mustang display that, you know, was available in 87 to 93 Mustang right here. So this is a digital version of what you've seen in the old generation Mustangs, which is really, really nice. Okay, go back here, put it in reverse to check out the rear view camera. We have the active trajectory lines. Camera is a decent quality, and right here you have the sensors, and this is your rear view camera. Doesn't have the multiple angles or anything like this. And then if you hit this button right here at the bottom, it's going to open up your climate control settings, and then you can select the different vents that the air is going to be coming out of, and it has a nice, you know, animation as far as where the air is coming from. And then you have the automatic fan speed, which you can reduce it as well. You have the fan speed manual right here. I'm gonna make it low. And then you have the heated seats. You don't have the ventilated seats on the base model, but even the base trim gets the heated ones. And then the temperature settings. And then this is a dual zone climate control, automatic one. Very nice. Also here you have the same trim as on the side and on the doors, and then the buttons, we went through that on the other one. So you have the automatic start stop feature. You can turn that off. My Mustang, that activates that customization screen, can turn off the traction control, turn on the hazard lights. Here's your favorite buttons, and then you can add to it. So right now we have the auto hold and calm screen, but you can actually customize that as well. And then you have the max window defogger here, and then the power and volume knob. This is your Mustang key. So you have the lock, unlock 2 times to open the trunk, and then the panic button. And then down underneath here you have the USB type A, USB type C, and the 12-volt power outlet. Here's your gear shifter, kind of the bullet style like we've seen on the GT, but the GT was a manual transmission. So this is pretty cool. Push this, and then you can switch the gears. And the regular gear shifter, of course. And then you have the electronic parking brake, 2 cup holders, and a tiny bit of storage down here. Not much that you can fit in here. But then scrolling up here, we have the frameless mirror, and then the light control. And here is your moonroof control. Now we have to open this up, and because it's raining outside, I'm going to wait a little bit before I open this and illuminate it. Visor. So this is the interior of this base Mustang convertible. Check it out, guys. One thing before we actually start talking about the pricing, because it stopped raining outside, I want to show you of how this convertible top works. It is a power top, so basically you just unlock it from here, and then there's a button right back here, and the top opens up, creating this nice and open look. And you know, I don't really trust this weather to be like this, so when we're driving, I'm actually going to have the top up. Again, it's a pretty quick operation. As you can see, it's nice, quiet, and all you do is you lock it in place, and there you go. You have the top up. Easy peasy. So before we take it for a spin, let's talk about the pricing really quick. So EcoBoost Fastback, which is the coupe, starts at $30,920, and the convertible starts at $39,020. So $9,000 difference. This is a base convertible. Then the next one is the EcoBoost Premium Fastback, starting at $36,445, but the convertible $41,945. The GT Fastback 495, and the GT Premium Fastback available in coupe or convertible, $47,015 as a coupe, $52,515 as a convertible. Then we of course have the Dark Horse at $59,270, and the Dark Horse Premium at $63,265. So let's see, I have a sticker to this particular vehicle right here, and let's see what we have in addition to the $39,020 starting MSRP. We have the Rapid Red Metallic Tinted color, which is $495, and the mini spare wheel and tire at $415. Destination charge at $1595. Total MSRP $41,525. So $41,000 for a pretty cool performance convertible is not bad. Now, I didn't realize that the difference between the coupe and the convertible was so big, so I might have to do a coupe as well. But before we do that, let's take this for a quick spin. And what I didn't mention is the gas mileage. So what we have, 22 in the city, 33 on the expressway, combined is 26. It's not bad. And let's see if I can turn this vehicle around here in this tight parking lot. And let's see, can we do it? Can we make a circle? It looks like, yeah. Actually, it's not bad. Not bad at all. And the seats, they have power seats. I would probably imagine that the coupe is gonna have like the manual seats, and it's not gonna have some of the equipment that this one has. And of course, this is the comfortable sports car, so I mean, even if you're bigger, you're not being squeezed by the seats. Now of course, if you get the higher trim levels and you've opt in for some race seats, that's going to be a different story. But just for everyday driving, this one is going to be on the more comfortable side. And one thing to mention as well, this rag top right here definitely brings more noise inside of the cabin. I didn't feel that in the GT coupe that I've done before, so keep that in mind. The convertible is also going to be a lot more noisier than and I just looked back to make sure that those little corner windows are closed, but they are. So they're going to be a little bit more noisier than the coupe. So of course, driving this vehicle, it is comfortable as well. Now I have it in the sport mode. The engine sounds a little bit louder in the sport mode. And you know, I'm doing about 55, and let's see what happens when I press down on the accelerator. And it moves. 315 horsepower is not bad on the 4-cylinder engine. That's actually very, very good. So I know why people love Mustangs, because it is a very driver-friendly vehicle. It's very forgiving. I mean, if you have this basic Ecoboost, now we're doing about 65 miles an hour, but if I slow down and then accelerate, let's see how that 10-speed transmission would accelerate. Yep, slow down. It hesitated just a little bit on the downshift, but not bad, and then it should be back up. So very, very nice as far as the feel of this vehicle. We're gonna stop it right here really quick. You know, we're gonna get down to 0 and then see how the acceleration is. Wow. And we're at 60. Really nice, really smooth. Well, it was great. It wasn't as fun, don't get me wrong. It wasn't as fun as, you know, shifting on that GT, but I think if I get that V8 with 480 horsepower, I'd get it with the automatic transmission. And, you know, I can only imagine that that combination would be very nice and powerful and more fun than this. But this with 315, not bad at all. Not bad. Puts a big smile on my face every time I hear this engine. Again, this is the base convertible. This is not premium, you know, just $41,000 about it. Well, let me know what you think about it in the comment section. I'm going to try to also get my hands on just the base coupe and then the automatic GT, just to kind of compare all of them. Then I'll have a better understanding of this Ford Mustang 2024. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned one thing, and if you did, don't forget to show me some support by hitting that subscribe button, give me a like, and turn on that bell notification, ring bell. It takes a second. It's right here at the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.